Hello, friends. Welcome back to my channel here at True Reality Life, where we talk about the true realities of the life around us, beautiful and ugly, and all the in between. My name is Amber, and allow me to reintroduce myself as we restart this podcast again. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos. I'm not going to delete them. I'm just going to start brand new and say, this is video one. You can go watch those. I was being consistent for a little while there whenever I was pregnant and my health just took a decline. I had to take off of work. I was just not doing great. And now I've had my baby who is almost 5 months old this month, which is crazy. But I just wanted to hop on here because my standards have changed, y'all. Usually, I was so nervous about doing my podcast because everything needed to be planned out and be perfect and I research so much of, oh, it needs to include this and say this and have an order and have a call to action and all of the things. And yes, I do want to get to that point eventually, but it got to the point where I was stressing about making a video or a blog every single month or every single week, really. And it just got to be so stressful. And I feel like I have this tendency that once I'm consistent for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm being consistent. The second I say, okay, we're going to start regularly posting, it's like my brain shuts off and I just stop being consistent and it just drops off. It's like, you know how they say it takes what, 21 days or 28 days, whatever, however many days to create a habit. It's like right before I hit that habit, I am just completely shut down and I can't continue anymore. But thankfully, I've been in therapy with an amazing therapist, and we've been working on my consistency and my need for perfectionism and to be intentionally imperfect and accept and love myself the way that I am. So I noticed before that I'm going to try to say this without crying because every time it's been brought up in therapy I cry. I'm having to learn that my value is not determined by my productivity, not determined by things that I accomplish. Because my entire life has revolved around my accomplishments and being top of my class and achieving everything. Like, I was top seven, I was ranked seven out of 900 something students in high school. I went on to leadership in college, neuroscience, pre-med. I wanted to excel and be a leader in all of my nursing school things, and I'm now 27 years old and an assistant manager, which is awesome and a great accomplishment, but I'm having to learn that my value is not dependent upon those accomplishments. So I just wanted to do this little podcast to reintroduce myself, as the song goes, and just kind of give a background of myself and just give myself the freedom to let this be imperfect and there be no format to it, and to where I can just be myself, because I was trying to put on this mask of perfection and come across like I had it all together. You know, they say fake it till you make it. And yes, to a degree, but I also need to be authentic to myself. But I also didn't know who I was. And I'm learning to find myself again and to love myself for who I am. And I just wanted to broadcast that to the world instead of trying to be this perfect person who seems like I have it all together and give all of this mental health advice. So, just a little bit of background for me. All of this podcast and my blog and all of my passions revolve around mental health and well being, if you followed my journey at all. But that is my true passion. And I've always felt like I had a calling for it. But from childhood, I grew up with a mother who had bipolar, and instead of seeking medical help, sought their own medications and other outlets with alcohol, drugs, things like that. And she's come a long way now, which I'm really proud of her, and it's great to see. But at the time of growing up was very hard, and I had to take on a lot of independence at a very young age. That being said, whenever I went to college, I decided to go pre-med neuroscience because I wanted to research and find out things about mental illnesses and how how to fix people, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted to learn more so that I could help. In the end, it ended up being more of a passion for the mental health and well being of everyone. And also recognition of mental illnesses because I definitely still believe there is a difference between your mental health and a mental illness. And people often interchange those words way too frequently, but they are very separate, which we'll get into in another episode in more of a relaxed way because I have a very formal video about it if you want to go back and look at that, but don't feel the need to. Going from there, I got very overwhelmed very quickly doing pre med neuroscience because I jumped right into very advanced courses since I did a lot throughout high school and my college career. Um, I did a lot of college courses in my high school years, if that makes sense. And so I ended up switching to nursing, which fast forward a couple of years, I am now an assistant manager of a neuroscience unit. So I'm still a nurse. I take on charge nurse responsibilities if you know anything about nursing. But it all kind of came full circle with neuroscience and things like that. But I definitely am leaning more towards needing that educational and advocacy aspect in my life to really help and guide people because that is my passion. And I don't know, I just want to learn and grow. And right now, I am starting that and, at the tip of the iceberg, um, just starting down that journey because I'm recognizing that I do need a lot of growth and development in order to get to the place that I want to be. And I'm okay admitting that now because I felt like before I was like, oh, I'm so capable, I'm so this, I'm so that. And so I was so scared to start because I was scared to fail. I was scared to not be enough. So I would overstress myself for videos and blog posts and all the things to be perfect and great, and was let down if I didn't get the response that I wanted. And so now I'm learning to accept that this is a journey and I'm learning through all of it. And I'll even look back on this video one day and be like, oh my goodness, you were all over the place. And that's okay because this is the start of my journey and I can only go up from here, really. Um, Even though I am so, so beyond blessed. Outside of my career, as I mentioned, I am a mother. I'm a mother of now two girls, which is a blessing. I always thought I would be a boy mom, and here I am, a girl mom to two girls, as my sister has four boys. My sister in law has four boys. My other sister in law, she has two girls, thankfully. So there's some companionship there for mine. But I never thought I would have so much pink in my house. Even my new phone stand is pink. And I will say phone stand, it is a camera stand as well. And usually I have this nice fancy camera that I bought years ago for the vlogging, podcasting, things like that. And that's usually what I drag out, make sure it's charged and upload and get all the angling. But honestly, we're doing this on my phone. I am in the process of moving. We have my house listed for sale and we're getting a house built. That should be done in like 6 months still. So it's a waiting period, but all of our stuff is pretty much packed up aside from the necessities. So here we are coming to you from my phone, and I bought this nice little microphone so it will sound a little bit better. But I also bought a phone stand, and it's nice and pink. Um, so I'm looking forward to this journey. What else about me? I married my two girls. I have a little dog, a weenie dog. I love crafts. So I do have a small business which is currently on like layaway. I don't know what the word would be. It's on paused right now. I don't know. All of the things are in the garage packed away. Um, but I do have a small business of doing handmade house decor. So I make candles and macrame wall hangings and I crochet and I do a whole bunch of different like concrete trays and coasters and things like that. um, which is also another battle because my consistency has just really not been great. And I'm hoping to change that. So, this is a step in the right direction for my podcast and blogging to where I am just getting on here and talking. And eventually we'll find some form to this. But as of now, my plan is to just kind of get on here as I am learning lessons in my daily life and try to see what I can teach other people and offer insight, while also just being myself instead of always having to put on a front or wanting to be perfect. I am practicing this as well in my journaling. I journal a lot, I read a lot. This has always been a consistent struggle for me over the years to journal, to read, to everything because, oh, I have to have the perfect journal for this. I have to have the perfect um, planner for this. I have to finish the book before starting another one. And it was all of these things that I was putting on myself, like restrictions or standards I was putting on myself. And I'm like, where are these coming from? Like, why do I have to finish a book before moving on to the next one? Why do I have to have the perfect journal? Why do I have to have a separate journal for quotes versus business ideas versus whatever? So, what I've started is to be more consistent instead of having to stress about, oh, where's this perfect pen or where's my journal and which book am I reading and where am I at and blah, 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 and stressing myself out. What I've done is I have a journal. I bought a journal that I really like, and it's my everything journal. So if I have a random thought, it goes in the journal. If I have a business idea, it goes in the journal. If I do daily affirmations, so I write down affirmations. I do daily new vocabulary. I do positive quotes. I do notes from books that I'm reading. Sometimes I do grocery lists in there. It's completely random stuff, but it allows me a place to put all of my thoughts without having to stress about different journals for different topics. Because honestly, how many times have I gone back and looked at a journal that I wrote in before? So it's honestly just for my peace of mind that I can have for reference, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So it's my everything journal. And also, what's helped me in being consistent with that and my daily affirmations, quotes, things like that, is I take the stress off of it. So every day I'll start the process every time I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do something. I don't want to read. I don't want to XYZ. I just get up and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to write a couple new vocabulary words. So I downloaded an app that has new vocabulary with definitions on it. And so every day I'll get excited to go write like two or three new vocab words. So then at least it gets me exposed and have the journal open, and in the mindset of being present with myself and learning and growing. So that way from there, I'm like, okay, well, let's write a couple affirmations. So I do that. Let's write a couple positive quotes. And now I'm ready to like, okay, now I want to read a self help book and take notes on it and things like that. So I'm currently have like, I have a fun read. I have a read for like growth that I'm reading about ADHD right now. I have one that I'm reading about how to be a better mom. And then I'm reading my Bible, which is a whole nother story. Um, I have my prayer and gratitude journal. I have, um, I think there's one more book. Oh, and a book about dealing with emotionally immature parents and how I'm healing from that with my trauma from my mom, which is a whole nother story. Um, But we'll get to all of that in time. I don't want to make this too long. I know it's probably already long already. But last thing that I did want to mention is my journey with faith and my relationship with God has been renewed. And I definitely want to dive deeper into this in a like maybe the next episode I'll do that because I really am excited about it. But yes, I want this channel to be focused on mental health and well-being, but I also am redirecting to have more of a focus on faith and God. And I guess that at first I was like, oh, well, I don't want to bring that into my podcasting world. I want to just keep it mental health and well being. But I really do. And I think it will hone in on the audience that's meant for me because I was so worried that it's going to shut out potential viewers. Um, but if it does, then those viewers aren't for me. So I have reconnected with God and I am building on that relationship every single day. And He definitely is providing guidance and strength to me. And every time I ask, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I definitely feel like I'm becoming stagnant in my everyday life. I keep getting this urge to restart my podcast and just be true to myself. So here I am, and we'll get more into the foundations of my relationship with God and how that was brought up because I didn't grow up with any sense of faith or any relationship with Him. And I've kind of had to teach myself and things like that. Going to a Baptist university in college was the initial breakthrough, but it's come and gone since then. But I definitely feel more connected to Him than ever now, and it is truly a blessing. So I look forward to those of you that I can connect with in that aspect. And if you're just here for the mental health and well-being, that's awesome too. I won't be too heavy on the faith aspect of it, but it does play a huge role. But I will just be giving some advice and guiding you along the way with just mental health tips and tricks and just life is hard, y'all. We're all struggling. Nobody's perfect, so we'll work through everything together. But if you're still here at the end of this, of me just rambling honestly about myself, I appreciate you and I appreciate your time, and I look forward to the journey ahead because this is for me. This podcast right now for me is the equivalent of writing down my vocab words every day. So this part isn't scary because it's just me talking and I love to talk. So whether these get viewed or not, at least it's a start for me and it gets me in the mindset to be more consistent, to show up. Even if this is all that I do, at least it's something and I'm proud of myself for doing this. So thank you for joining me here today or tonight for me because it's 9 o'clock at night. And I'm not quite ready for bed, but I usually want to do this daytime so I can have perfect lighting and all of that. But nope, not anymore. Got a blanket sitting on the couch, nice and cozy, comfortable. Some days I'll be looking like a crackhead. Sometimes I may not, but 90% of the time I look like a crackhead with two under two right now. So I appreciate you being here and for your love and support. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. So thank you guys. Have a good one. Bye.